Back in Week 6, the Browns won an instant classic in their first matchup against the Steelers. Can Pittsburgh get revenge? Find out next on Madden NFL 22.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. This was the scene just a few moments ago as the Pittsburgh faithful were fired up by the hometown Steelers taking the field. They're all set as they'll match up with the Cleveland Browns. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talked about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Just about time to rock as Toe gets ready to meet leather. And we are underway here on EA Sports. Now here's Johnson.
Let's go, Let's go.
So out come the Steelers now for their first drive. And they will be led out by their 6'4" quarterback.
You talk about the pause that refreshes. I think it's come at a perfect time of the year for them, hasn't it? You know, it's the season is starting to wind down, got a little bit of a break. But how about the guy calling the signals? He's got to be excited about that because now he didn't just get a game plan for 1 week. He was able to work on it for 2 weeks. I can't wait to see if they have anything special in store for him today.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. And that is the kind of tackling they want to see all game as he'll lose yardage to start things out. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. 2nd down.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Looking to throw. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. Little trouble thus far on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 11. Blitz forthcoming as he'll look to throw. And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down. On 4th down, here's Presley Harvin on to punt. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. Good open field tackling there. A 50-yard punt followed by just a 1-yard return. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And they'll be led out by the man running the show, Charles, their quarterback.
And for how good he is throwing the ball, it's his running that makes him so dangerous. He had a couple of touchdowns on the ground in last week's game, so we'll see what they dial up for him for this one.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line.
We talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and picking up a first down.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Well, this crowd does not like that call.
Understandable reaction from them. That's their team that the penalty's going against. But you and I both know they're going to take care of the quarterback.
So a critical mistake, roughing the passer. Now it's 1st and goal. Forced out to his left. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Browns have taken the early lead. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. A drive there of just 4 plays. And in the end, it's capped off by a 7-yard run. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Returning it, Johnson. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their second offensive possession. And they, of course, coming into this one in the midst of a tough losing streak. They did get helped out by the open week last week, and in talking with him, all indications were, Charles, that was a very helpful break.
Yeah, I know a lot of teams, coaches, they hate taking time off in the midst of a losing streak because they think they have to stay on their toes and punch their way out of it. But occasionally, you get that open week, you step back, evaluate what's been going wrong, see what you can put in that can move you forward, and maybe you get a chance to breathe a little bit and kind of start over.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. On second down now, Maynard. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5. He'll look to throw. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 39-yard line. Back to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Micah Parsons in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks. Coming off the line, he's been wreaking havoc all year. And look, that's why, as a result, he's getting some looks for Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL.
And I know that many people don't have him first on their list right now, but he deserves that type of consideration. You mentioned it. All year long, he's made big plays and continues to do so. Imagine if he has a big game here. If so, he could vault himself right into the #1 spot.
And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now back to throw. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down.
That's how we do it.
And the defense coming through on 3rd down, a loss of 7 to bring up 4th. He seemed to have a reasonable amount of time in the pocket, but he couldn't get rid of the football, and the end result, Charles, him on the ground.
Yeah, he's got to keep an internal clock to go along with his offensive line. When you're talking about 3, 4, 5 seconds, that's a reasonable amount of time to expect to deliver the ball downfield. So great to try and complete a pass, but it's equally important to know when to throw the football away, too.
The Browns offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. Well, we do know, Charles, they will be in the playoffs. They currently sit at pole position #1, but nothing's set in stone right now. They still have to earn that top spot.
And it makes me reflect back to preseason when you and I do our tours of camps. the prevailing message in each and every one of them was what? Win the division.
Win the division.
Win the division. You know you're in the playoffs. It means something. It means a home game. It means a number of other things, but winning the division is paramount. You're right. They won't step off the gas here.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Buying time to his left. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. This offense, Charles, well, we've talked about how well they played all season, sitting now at 13-0 with a finish line for a perfect regular season. That's in sight. Some in the media this week were pointing back to the 07 Patriots. Of course, remember, they finished the regular season unbeaten, but they were tested multiple times in that final month plus.
Yeah, it was something like 4 of their last 6 wins were one-possession games, and they played like a team that was trying to protect something instead of chasing something. And that's what happens when you have an undefeated record. So it behooves you as a team, get a couple blowouts in there so you get a chance to relax and breathe. But that's much easier said than done.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. You know, in our research packet this week, prepping for the game, so many articles from the local beat writer about the offensive struggles of this team and what will they do this offseason. What do you think they'll do?
Well, number one, they'll turn to their self-scouting report. And every team that's any good does this. They have outside groups. Check out their team, scout them, and tell you who can play, who can't play, and reasons why. Some of it may just be health. They have to get some guys healthy and back out on the field. But overall, evaluate this squad and make the changes that you need to.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now a give, right side. Maynard fighting through it. He's got space. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 48 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. And his throw's going to be incomplete. And, Charles, you look at this defense. They were a very loose group coming into the week, knowing they kind of had the upper hand going into this one, taking on a team that hasn't won in a month and a half.
And that works well for you if you establish your dominance early in the game against a team that's struggling. But if somehow they fashion some plays together early, knock them back on their heels, that looseness can be used against them. Then they're trying to scramble to make sure they get their game right.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And going deep for Hill. And it's intercepted. Picked off by Greg Newsome. And the Browns are going to take over here up near the 40.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long, because they've been so good at finding ways to take the football away. And they just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And they, on paper, Charles, no doubt they have the edge in this one. They are sitting with the AFC elite, and on the other side, they're down toward the bottom of the AFC. But you know what they say, especially at this point in the season, watch out for a trap game.
And in doing so, I would take my game plan and condense it. I would rely on my fundamentals, the fact that my players are probably just better, and not try and do too much, do just enough to win the game. And on the other side of the field, I'm doing everything. Every trick play I can think of, every different formation, you name it, I'm throwing it at them in order to try and get the upset win. Already over 1,000 yards receiving this season. That catch is just going to add to his total. Certainly not resting on his laurels. He's trying to continue to gain as many yards as possible and continue this big season.
Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. They'll set up to throw. Flushed out right. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. A great effort there. His 26th touchdown, drawing even with Marshall Faulk for the 4th most in a single season. And the Browns add on to their lead.
And that was a beautiful ball right there as he waited for his tight end to come uncovered in the end zone, so give him points for patience as well. Delivered it right where it needed to be for 6 points.
Extra point by Blankenship is up and good, and it's now 14-0. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So with the Steeler offense on their way out, let's take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And this Browns defense coming to life. They get him behind the line for a second straight play. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1?
I got one. Mike 3.
Here comes the blitz as they look to throw. Oh, this is intercepted, intended for Hill. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And now timeout is whistled as it appears there's a Brown shaken up on the play. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Escaping the pressure right. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Well, these two teams met in Cleveland earlier in the year with the Browns coming out on top. So if they can win here in Pittsburgh, they'd be able to claim the season sweep.
2nd and 10. A very chilly day here, but no snow. And I got to say, if it's going to be this cold, I want snow. You should see Charles' face. He's looking at me like I'm crazy. They'll drop to throw.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
Picked off at the 14. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
So the interception there, and Charles, I'd imagine that's something you can maybe live with in December, but not come January.
And I love how you make the distinction there. You're talking about regular season versus the postseason, the playoffs. Because these guys, they've already clinched a playoff spot, but they know, looking ahead, when they get into the postseason, they've got to take better care of the football because turnovers in that situation, they really become magnified.
These two teams matching up for the 2nd time this year. Their first meeting back in October, week 6, and it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home.
And this Browns defense coming to life. They get him behind the line for a second straight play. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. The Steelers send out their punter now as he's on to kick it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. Here again comes the captain of this offense leading his crew back out there now. He's thrown for a touchdown. He also ran for a touchdown, so they have to count for a guy that can do a little bit of both.
And because of that, that puts the defense back on its heels. Because normally you just think, okay, he's going to throw the ball. Let's tee off, put a little extra pressure on him. But when he's able to either escape or run with the ball and design plays, that really changes what you try and do on defense.
Yeah, you certainly can't forget about the arm, that's for sure. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40.
Earlier this half, you were wondering how the defense was going to handle him defensively. Were they going to bottle him up at different levels, so to speak, is what you said. What have you seen so far?
Well, I think they've been absolutely terrific because it feels like a...
Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up second. I think this defense, Charles, realizing the deficit they're facing, they're going to have to step up and make more plays like we just saw there.
Yeah, and those are the type of plays that can focus a defense because, as we know, they've had their trouble so far in this one. But they just proved to themselves that they can get to him, and I expect them to continue to bring that type of pressure in order to try and turn around their fortunes.
A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And able to get this down inside the 15, either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be second down. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. It's another 10 yards on that one and another first down. And quickly they get to the line. They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he'll get it down close to the goal line, but not quite in. It'll be a 3-yard pickup, and it brings up second and goal. They'll try to run this one in, and he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. A great play there. His second touchdown on the season, and the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. Well, I don't think that we're ready yet to say the route is on, but they have certainly looked near flawless here in this first half, and now an extra point away from making it 21-0.
Yeah, and your experience led you to say that because we have both seen those 21-0 leads come and go in this league, but this one feels pretty darn secure. And here's the other part. Even when people chip away at it, it forces you into being almost perfect on the other side, doesn't it, in order to try and mount a comeback.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. On third down, Maynard, and he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's fourth down. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So they're forced to punt on fourth as this one's away. 36 yards on the punt with no return, and out will come the offense as they take over. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. A big reason why they've been so successful, this defense hasn't been able to contain him when he gets outside of the pocket.
So true, and that's when it's really difficult because defensively you can have a game plan and trying to account for all the things you've seen on tape, the way that they run their plays, even his running. But when it's a play where you just can't really say, okay, that's how the play's supposed to go, what they call broken plays, that's when the X and O doesn't work. That's when their Jimmy is better than your Joe.
The Browns drive about to get started. And with great starting field position and a couple of timeouts at their disposal, they'll certainly have the green light here. Now he'll throw deep left side. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. A big play there with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Browns are able to add on to their first half lead. In today's NFL, we talk about quarterbacks and their speed and accuracy, but there's still something about a guy slinging one downfield.
And as that ball was hanging in the air with the receiver streaking downfield to meet it, here in the stadium, you could just sense the crowd thinking, oh, no. And their worst fears weren't realized as that one turned into a long touchdown.
And the final number of the next-gen stats, that ball traveling a full 59 yards through the air. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And a rout is on here in this first half. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people, lean on your teammates, find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
Or this, if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense. What was that, Rob?
So they will accept the penalty and move forward. So now a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 after roughing the passer. They'll set up a throw. Uses the stiff arm. Now the Steelers use the second of their 3 timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. 2nd and 6. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here. The line to gain is the 33 on 3rd down. They'll look to throw again. That's out to Hill, right side complete. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So even though it's 1st down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. This is a 49-yard attempt, right hash. The kick by Bass is good. And that drops a deficit from 28 to 25. So they do get the 3 points before they hit halftime. Something to build on, maybe.
Yeah, go ahead and raise the banner, right? Wave the flag. That's good. Got points. And now, as you said, they've got something to build on as they get ready for the second half.
From the 10. And with a marker down, he's up just past the 25-yard line, but I think they're going to be going backwards. Let's check the call. Well, that holding call set him up with not great field position.
Not at all when you tack on the penalty. But that field position after the return wasn't terrific. It's not a great starting field position as well.
Well, the holding penalty sets him back inside the 20 as they get going on this drive. Steps away to his left. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. So we come upon halftime, and it's the visiting Browns with a lead. As we'll head down to... Well, that came a little abruptly here. Still working on my apple up in the booth. Hang on here. Let me spit this out. And we can get to the 3rd quarter now. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Fielded right around the 8. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Here's the Browns offense now getting set to start off this 3rd quarter. And it's hard to imagine that the first half could have gone any better for them. So what's the approach here in the second half?
Just continue to play smart football because they got the other team down and they feel good about the position they're in. The obvious thing people would say is just keep attacking, but I think you also have to be smart about it. Avoid turnovers. That's about the only thing that can derail you at this point. Attack, but make sure you take care of the ball.
And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
He's had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. 2nd and 4. Being chased out left. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's going to be out down inside the 20 at the 15. A big connection on that one. 30 yards. So after the big play, look at this. All the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. Now a handoff as they run left side. He takes us down to about the 12 for a gain of 3. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
And he'll get this down inside the 5 to the 4 before he's out of bounds.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2. From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. A great effort there. His 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Browns take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. So it was the passing game that got him down here, but closer to the goal line, it's the running game that gets him home.
It certainly appears that they lulled the defense into thinking that the passing game was going to be it the entire drive. Nice change up there going to the running game to get him over the goal line.
So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Time for the Steelers offense now to get set for their first possession of half number 2. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy.
And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far.
Picked up by Denzel Ward. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over. Week after week, we're seeing plays like this from him, and I think he's in line. We've discussed it before for NFL Defensive Player of the Year.
And a big reason why, I think, is because of his ball skills, and that's something that, for guys of his position, they've talked about it for years. They've done the drills, but they've really increased it in recent seasons because of the offense have gotten so good. He knows how to take the ball away. That is huge for a defender.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Flush to his right. Past the 20. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line.
Baby, let's go. Well, I certainly don't want to pile on, but this defense has just not been up to the challenge in this game, and this continues as we see here. Coverage, not been very good. Soft in spots. There's an easy throw and catch for another 1st down.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
Steps away. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Able to get there and pick it.
And the Steelers are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20.
CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training. So he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it in.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Micah Parsons just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. 62 yards rushing for him now to this point. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. They'll keep it on the ground. Maynard. Oh, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. The Steelers send out their punter now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Fair catch called for and made at about the 32-yard line. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we've got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you've got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40.
Let's let him go!
He's starting to fall into the category of not fair, because when he's on target throwing the ball, he's dangerous. But when you add in his ability to make plays with his feet, almost impossible.
Well, yeah, exactly. They've had trouble stopping him in the secondary. This time they've got the great coverage. Oh, he can run too. Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Rolling to his left. He's got his man on the crossing route. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Everyone has their strengths, able to move to their right or their left, being able to throw the football. So that means you've got to work on both, because you never know which way you're going to get flushed by pressure. In this situation, able to escape to his left and makes an accurate throw.
Wide open receiver, complete. Touchdown. A great play there. With touchdown number 27, that ties Priest Holmes for the 3rd most in a single year. And the Browns are pouring it on.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good, and that will extend this big lead. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Pittsburgh set to take over again on offense. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? Well, a lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Yeah, this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
They'll keep it on the ground. Maynard. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. We're off to the 4th quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. The Steelers on 3rd down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. They'll look to throw. To the sideline, and oh, that's well done. Able to drag the feet. He's going to have the first down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll look to throw here. And his throw here's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
And now the third down throw incomplete as well. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
So, Charles, you talk about this head coach and his future with this franchise. Look, it's been a frustrating year, and I think we saw some of that frustration boil over at his weekly press conference earlier in the week.
Yeah, he's trying to say all the right things, isn't he? But he's heard the rumors. He knows what's going on out there. And right now, he is tired of having to answer the question, are you on the hot seat in every meeting with reporters? This week, he kind of said, I've had enough. And I don't blame him. He looks like a guy that may very well be out the door.
Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
Here's a throw right side taken in by his tight end. This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
And now here's a carry heading left. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. 67 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently.
You know, following up on this head coach and the pressure that he is under, CD, I want to switch it to you because you've been on winning teams, but I know you've been in similar situations too where things just are not going well. How do you approach that as a player?
It's a tough approach.
And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown. A big play there. His 9th touchdown of the season.
And the Browns add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week.
A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
Extra point by Blankenship is up and good.
And the lead will swell by one more. So the drive there took 6 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland.
So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off.
Johnson now returning.
And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive.
It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. He'll drop to throw. His throw incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
Again, he'll drop to throw. This is the tight end Fant. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling.
And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Micah Parsons able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. The Steelers send out their punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20.
Ready to take over again on offense. Out comes Cleveland. And they just continue to roll right along, really. This has the looks of yet another victory as they hope to polish it off here in quarter number 4. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
40 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
Boy, that one was well read defensively, and this is all about diagnosis as a safety and being decisive because he saw it setting up in front of him, able to knife through there and make the play.
Historically, this is such a tough, loud venue, but you can hear a pin drop right now. A lot of fans long gone, not used to seeing a lopsided score like this.
And maybe Shane's in the steel curtain here as the Steeler defense drops him behind the line again.
I think sometimes when you're trying to get after the quarterback, maybe it's better to be lucky than great, because I think on that one, he's just trying to get upfield and rush the passer. Instead, the tackle for the loss landed right in his lap.
And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. That one looks like he'll throw here, eluding the pressure right. That is caught inside the 5. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Blankenship out for the point after.
Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So that a 7-play, 80-yard drive. And it's capped off by the Browns' touchdown.
So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off.
Here comes Johnson on the return.
And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
They were coming off the extra week of rest, but this team started sluggish, and it really didn't get any better from there, and trailing big here in this fourth quarter.
Back to throw now on first down. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Looking to throw. And incomplete on the deep ball.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Back to throw here. And his pass is intercepted for the fourth time today. Picked off at the 12. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Browns defense has a touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them into the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
Extra point by Blankenship is up and good.
And that will extend this big lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. Now here's Johnson.
And he won't quite make it to the 25.
One final shot. They'll look to throw. And my goodness, another interception.
Picked off by Greg Newsome. And the Browns come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Browns, they move ever closer to the perfect regular season as they run things to 14-0. And they will head home next week to take on the Minnesota Vikings. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, they drop their 10th game now to fall to 4-10. And they'll have a tough one at home next week against the Green Bay Packers.